Gonna make that more. I know it was some last minute pictures. So that you can see, and it should come up and.
All right, it is 6:03.
Okay.
I'm gonna call this regular board meeting of the Pawcatuck Township Board to order on Wednesday, May 13, 2026. If you are able, please stand and join me for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Note that all the trustees are present. And that brings us to reports and we don't have any presentations, but would you like to make your presentation now?
I would be delighted to do that.
Wow.
Thank you.
Please go right ahead.
I was not gonna exceed 5 minutes, but I was worried about time.
We wouldn't ring the buzzer on you.
Well, thank you so much. My name is Linda Teeter, and I am Director of Finance and Fundraising for the Allegan County Legal Assistance Center, and that is located at the Allegan County Courthouse at 113 Chestnut in Allegan, Michigan. So I'm delighted to be here to present your annual report to you, but also share with your residents about the Legal Assistance Center. So the Allegan County Legal Assistance Center is considered to be one of the premier legal assistance centers in Michigan. There are 60 self-help centers in Michigan, and there are 5 premier centers, and Allegan is one of those. The Legal Assistance Center provides free legal assistance center to Allegan County residents and persons with civil cases in Allegan County. It's for civil cases. Since July 31st, 2012, over 35,450 Allegan County residents have received free legal assistance. That still exists today, day in and day out. It started with a $3,000 grant, a computer, a small space in the lower level of the courthouse, a vision by 3 people that Allegan County residents were in need of free legal assistance. That vision still exists today. There are 12 board members. Back then there was 1 volunteer and 1 volunteer who was there part of the time. That's grown to 5 part-time staff members. The Allegan County Board of Directors, I should say the Allegan County Board of Commissioners continues to provide space in the courthouse. It provides phone, Wi-Fi, maintenance, IT, and have committed to do that since day 1. That is an incredible benefit to any nonprofit to be able to have space and all of those amenities. The Legal Assistance Center makes a difference. What the staff do, volunteers and interns in people's daily lives, but it also assists the courts. Judge Baker will often say that on Friday when they're doing pro-cons or people who are self-representing for divorce, that if the person that's in the courtroom needs to have some adjustment, some form completed, and she can send them over to the Legal Assistance Center and they can complete that. They can finish that all in 1 day. So it really assists the courts with making sure that everything is completed and filed properly, served properly, and people can have their day in court. So, we want to say thank you for your support of the Legal Assistance Center. Right now, and we do have support from the Allegan County Bar Association, but attorney fees are somewhere around $300 or more an hour, and there are people who choose to represent themselves and people who are not able to pay that fee for whatever their civil case is. So the Legal Assistance Center is open every day. I did leave in front of you your charts specific to Saugatuck Township, and I did do some fancy ones with each one of them. It shows the cases that we assisted 42 Saugatuck Township residents during the last year. And then it shows your the age percentages and the income for your residents during this year. So I do have a couple of things to ask you, and unfortunately, somewhere between the city of Benville and here, I lost the little insert that I was gonna ask if you would consider inserting in your summer tax bill. It is, and Daniel, if I could bring it to show you, we can print them. They fit in a number 10 envelope, and they're printed on stock, like for copy paper. Let me give you an example. It's one way of getting word out about the Legal Assistance Center to your residents. Casco Township, they included an insert last year. The year before that, they had 15 people who asked for assistance at the courthouse. I just did their numbers because I'm going to present there Monday. 66 people sought assistance, and the goal is to make sure that people are aware. We know that there are needs there. We know that, and so the more awareness that there is, then we can assist people. And that you would consider in your next budget to renew your contract. And I would be happy to answer any questions, and certainly again, thank you on behalf of the board of directors for your support.
Linda, I have a question, and I already checked the cards. Do you guys have any social media that we could help, just repost some of your posts? And
we are deficient in the social media area. However, we are in the middle of a strategic planning process and are working with the Allegan Technical Center because they have some students who are in the social media area to have an intern, the tech center, assist us with that.
Very cool.
So as soon as we do have that, absolutely.
That's just such an easy way to reach so many.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And my second question is, it doesn't sound like you guys cover this, but I was just having a conversation with a good friend of mine this morning. I have a son that has special needs. She has a son, an adult son that has special needs, and she's working with him to get his social security renewed. And she was so frustrated. She's like, here I am, a college educated woman, and can barely get this paperwork done. How do they expect somebody that has special needs to do this? Are you aware, just because you're in a similar line of, helping people navigate difficult systems, of good resources for those type of situations?
I can check on that. It's not something that we assist with, but I'm thinking that one of the congressional offices or the US Senate offices can be most helpful with that, but I certainly will check on that for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else have any questions or comments about that?
When you mentioned that if we could do an insert in the summer tax bill, does that exist yet? Copy itself?
It does not exist. I have an example of it. I'm planning to have them printed sometime after June 1st. Do you know if you choose to do that about how many tax bills that you have?
It's about, well, gotta take out the mortgage people. It's around 1,000.
And I'm having them, actually packaged in 500 this year.
Oh, okay.
And do you actually insert them yourself? Do you?
Yeah, that's done internally. Yeah,
Okay,
we have a folding.
yeah.
No, we'd be happy to do that.
Oh, perfect, perfect. But I will drop by an example for you.
Perfect.
It has made a difference. It actually was, Gunplain Township Supervisor Mike Vandenberg. I think the winter of 2025, when they were doing the board of review, said, do you have anything that I can put in this mailing? We hurried up and put something together. And it has had such a huge effect. It's still ripple effect by people knowing, and then we decided last summer we would begin, so we're just continuing to do this. So thank you for agreeing to do that. Thank you.
Thanks for being
Thank you.
here. with us.
Thank you.
Keep on cooking. Okay. Treasurer's report.
Okay, right up front. Voice is a little weak, you see, sorry. So we are 2 months away from the end of the fiscal year, the first month of the fourth quarter. So our financial picture is quite positive right now. At the end of April 30th, cash on hand in our bank account was $2.22 million, up $365,000 from March. Dramatic increase primarily due to the collection of taxes and settlement in the county. So as I said, we're in the fourth quarter of the fiscal year. We have continue to have no department overages. I wanted to point out some significant payments that were made last month, just so you're aware. Brian and Newhoff billed us for work on Singapore Retreat, Saugatuck Lodging, the Old Allegan Lift Station. Those totaled about $130,000. We also had payment to Progressive for the hall canopy. That was $30,000. Now, my report says consent agenda includes $18,000 for bills that came in after the deadline. That changed yesterday, apparently. So I just want to change that number. It's actually $330,000 that are in the consent agenda that came in after our deadline. And that included some work for Sunset Park. Tax year 2026, it's over. Collection finished. We settled with the county and we received payment from them of $140,000 for the people that did not pay us. So they made us whole, and that's been dispersed out to our partners. But our collection rate, even before that, for taxes this season, 99%. Pretty cool. Quick update on investments. Our total as of April 30th was $7.6 million. We went up $20,000 from March. Since it's the quarter report, in here you've got the details of each of our items that total to the $7.6 million. I will note that there are 2 CDs that are maturing this month that we'll be dealing with next week probably. So that all looks good. And let's see, just the overview. General fund stands 90% of revenues collected for the budget. So we're 7% ahead of budget on the revenue side for the fiscal year. On the expense side, we're 13% below budget. So that's good. Better to have the revenue up than the expense down. And let's see. Right, and as you all know, this budget planning for fiscal year 2027 has begun. Got some stuff to give you later that we don't have to do this here. And that's it. That's it. All the monies we collected, everything's been dispersed out to the schools and the library. So, thank you. And forgive my voice.
Okay. Was there a planning commission?
Yes, the planning commission met on April 21st. Here at the township hall. And they had one agenda item, which was the enclave. The PUD development down at the corner by the roundabout. The developers presented to the planning commission with a lot of additional information. And then asked the planning commission to postpone the meeting. So they would have time to absorb all that information that they just received. So that has been tabled to the May 26th meeting. It had to be postponed because of a publishing issue, in the newspaper. But that will be heard again. They didn't get their application in on time for to be on that agenda, so they'll be on the following agenda in June.
Okay, all right. Clerk Crossman? Manager's report.
So there's a few things. So we're continuing to make progress on planning and designing of two major road projects, so. These are both grant funded, but we have a grant for the rural readiness program to redesign Blue Star Highway from Maple Street to 134th. And that's not just a road redesign, it's also design of sanitary, stormwater, sewer, sidewalks, crosswalks, potentially streetscape. So that is moving forward, and we're also simultaneously working on a intersection redesign of 135th, 65th and Blue Star Highway. Those projects are kind of now going on simultaneously because we're trying to look at it a little more comprehensively. We had a meeting today. We saw some initial concepts for that intersection. I don't think we're quite where we want to be, but we were able to see certain ideas that we could probably combine. There's probably a lot more conversation about that. One of the reasons why we're approaching these projects simultaneously is because we intend to apply for a federal grant through the Safe Streets for All program for construction. For that grant, you don't have to have like 100% engineering designs done, but you need to demonstrate that you have some design ideas in motion and a vision for what you want to accomplish. So we're going to submit a few different concepts with that grant program for the 135th, 65th Blue Star intersection. And we're narrowing down exactly what we want the road specifications to be for Blue Star Highway in general. So that's all moving forward at a very rapid pace.
Do you know, speaking of that intersection, the road's been closed this week and there's work going on, but is that tied to Singapore Retreat?
I imagine that's tied to the extension of the water main.
Okay,
The closure is on 135th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably not all day, but
no, well, the signs are up
the signs are, it's to do with the installation of their water main, so they're
to
extending
connect it
to Blue Star, so they have to run it from Blue Star Highway to the development
Right.
and then they'll run it through the development.
I thought it'd be a little soon to be this.
Oh, no, it's not that, no, it's just the water main, yeah, it's just their water main.
Thanks.
So that's that project, so I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday, that for the enclave development. They're going to have to install a new lift station and then a force main that takes the wastewater from the development to the treatment plant. Because that's a piece of public infrastructure ultimately will be turned over to us. The township engineer is the one who's designing it all. So we're continuing to move forward with the design of the lift station. That's all being funded by the developer. We're not paying for it, but we're in charge of it to make sure that it's per township specifications. So we had a meeting with the road commission. We also had a meeting with Cal Lake staff to just discuss or get their feedback in terms of like the placement of the infrastructure. And especially with Cow Lake, how we're going to tie in with the existing wastewater treatment plant. So those conversations are all happening, so that's all moving forward. And then kind of in conjunction with that, in looking at the fact that this development is installing all of this infrastructure. They're also looking for tax incremental financing to ultimately pay for that infrastructure. The township was interested in adding to that TIF plan the construction of a non-motorized path on Old Allegan Road that would take you from the crosswalk that currently exists on Blue Star all the way to our River Bluff Park. So we're working on some early design of that new non-motorized path. And the approval for the engineering work and for the construction is gonna be part of the budget hearing or budget presentation, so you'll get to see all that. We're pretty preliminary on it, but the idea is that we could tie this in with the TIF plan for the Enclave project and then collect or capture county taxes to help pay for the cost of the construction of that path. But right now, what I kind of wanted to communicate to you all is that we're gonna have to phase it a little bit. I don't know if the community's gonna be super psyched about the phasing of it, but we want to pursue a design that would take the path from the crosswalk at Blue Star all the way to River Bluff Park. The construction though will be phased, where we're going to construct just the Blue Star section down Old Allegan to the interstate overpass. The reason is because we could try to construct a path in the existing roadway, but I think people who take Old Allegan know that that's a very narrow section that goes under the bridge. There is the possibility of modifying the design of the bridge and actually going on the opposite side of the pillars, which would be a lot more comfortable and safe for the public. And to do that, we have to apply for a permit through the Federal Highway Administration, and that is a lengthy process, like it takes about a year to do it. So we'd want to design the whole thing so we know what we were doing, construct the first phase, and then by the time we get the permit, hopefully we're into the next construction cycle, and we can connect all the way down to River Bluff Park. But that's kind of the early discussions about what would be involved in the construction of this path and how we'd have to time it. But when we get to the budget presentation, we can talk more about like what it's gonna cost and how that's all gonna work. But we're hoping that at least the phase one part, we can include in a brownfield plan with the Enclave project, and then we would get repaid over time through taxes captured from that development, local taxes, and also county taxes. So that's that. Kalamazoo Water Authority, Sewer and Water Authority had their regular meeting on April 20th. I attended. We did review our SRF project scope. So some items that we were hoping to include in the SRF project are actually ineligible for inclusion, which is a bummer. It's gonna total like over $1 million. Which is even more reason why it's important that the authority has more users join the system to help pay for all of those costs. I don't know if I can emphasize that enough, the importance for the entire community, seeing more users join the sewer system. But yeah, so that was a bummer, so we're gonna end up, Pelic is gonna end up paying over $1 million for these improvements, they have to happen. So we're gonna move forward with that. And we did approve the publication of an intent to issue a bond associated with the state revolving fund low interest loan that we got. And then I did let them know that that was probably going to be my last meeting on the commission. We've held a few pre-construction meetings, so as John mentioned, he noticed the construction of a water main on 135th or a road closure on 135th. So we did host a pre-construction meeting for Singapore Retreats extension of the public water main and also sewer main. And then just today we hosted a pre-construction meeting for the Barn Dominium project on 135th. That's being pursued by North Shores of Saugatuck. So they will be constructing their extension of a water main early June. And that's gonna be a nice project, not only for them, but for the township. So they're going to be looping the water main where it currently dead ends at Commercial Boulevard. So they'll loop it with 66th Street, so we'll have a really nice loop. They're oversizing it, so for one reason is that it's in proximity, I'm not gonna say exactly where, but it's in proximity to a future municipal well site, so it's oversized, so it's able to actually contribute water to the entire system. And they'll be extending part of the water main to the potential future well site so that it's ready to go when we're actually in the position to construct the municipal well. So that's not only a project that's serving a private development, but there's community benefits to that project. For Parks and Rec, we did host an open house for the Kalamazoo River Greenway Committee's proposed water trail. That was really well attended. We got to showcase the Riverside Park project, showcase some of the Sunset Park improvements. So that was just a really nice event, and ODC really took care of most of it. But lots of smiling faces in the building. We continue to make progress with the Sunset Park project. All the concrete is poured. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of cool to see. They're gonna be working on the entrance sign this coming week. I think they're placing the boulder. It's a very cool sign. But the boulder component, they're placing that, I believe, on Friday or Monday. And then we'll start working on the landscape installation for that. And then I didn't include this in my actual report, but I just want to tell you orally, we are continuing to move the River Bluff improvement project forward. There's some complications because we did have to have some federal review of the project. So right now we're working through some comments from the State Historic Preservation Office. I don't think it's anything that we can't overcome. There's really competent people from NOAA on the project, so it's all moving forward. But we are preparing a bid advertisement, a bid package. So that will most likely be published in June. And then for you all, when we get the proposals in, then you, at that point, you would be approving or accepting one of the bids that came in. So we're hoping to just keep it moving. There's still some unknowns. We were unable to get a boring machine out there to essentially, there's a little disagreement, like some of the numbers that we got back from the boring that we've completed to install these pillars to support the over the marsh boardwalk component. Some of the people on the project think they're totally sufficient. There's some persnickety engineers who want more, wanna do it again, so we're gonna do it again, but there's some unknowns, but we need to get the bid package out there so we can actually complete it this summer and the fall, because we do have a deadline to complete the project by December 2026, otherwise we have to apply for an extension to the grant that we got. But that's all moving forward, it's just a lot of moving pieces. But you will eventually, the reason I wanted to talk about it is because it will come to you when we get the bids in, so it'll probably be for like a July meeting for approval. Cemeteries, we're continuing to move the Riverside Cemetery Columbarium project forward. Beardis is preparing the bid documents now. There's a few outstanding questions that we're working through, like I think I mentioned, we want to connect to the public water. Are there any upgrades to the utility system that the irrigation system that needs to be made? So we're working through those, but hopefully we'll have the bid package completed soon. And then we also met with the History Center to talk about doing Riverside Cemetery Comes Alive again. So that was exciting. The History Center was really excited about that event. I think we got great turnout. It was a really positive experience for a lot of people, things that we can improve. So we'll be working on that over the summer and then try to plan it for a date in October, sometime before Halloween. You can see that we're making progress on the exterior. So the parking lot is not done, but the first layer of asphalt is poured, so this parking lot is functional. And now the focus is on the side and the front. And we are still very much on track for a mid-July completion. We have a change order in here for some additional items. Like new windows, upgraded steel for the pillars supporting the canopy. But I think all of these change orders are really improving the project. It's nothing that we're not actually going to see a benefit from. So we didn't encounter any unknowns that we had to correct that were really expensive at this point, so it's a pretty smooth project. So that's happening. And then I attended the American Planning Association National Conference in Detroit, last week or a week and a half ago, which was very interesting. Got to do a lot of tours around the city with city staff, and then I saw a really cool presentation from the state of Hawaii. They did a whole managed retreat, strategic plan, so I think that's something that I kind of want to look into a little more when we get to do our coastal resiliency plan. But they brought up a lot of interesting concepts. I mean, clearly they have more complicated geological and weather issues than we do. I mean, they have tsunamis and volcanoes, but it was interesting to hear that. And then I did get my election certification or recertification, so I can work the August and November elections.
Thank you very much for that comprehensive report. That was us to public comment. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to talk right now? No? Okay. Anybody on Zoom? I saw Commissioner Lovers was there. Are you there?
He's coming in now.
Oh.
There he is.
It looks like we have Doug Manning and Commissioner Lovers joining us with Zoom. Would either of you like to speak at this time?
Hand raised.
Thank you for listening and being here. There will be a chance again at the end of the meeting to speak. It's not either of them, is it?
No.
Okay.
I thought it might be.
All right, I will go ahead and close the public comment section and move on to agenda approval. And this is the most updated agenda, or
Yes, yes.
somebody would like to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll move to approve the agenda as presented.
To support.
I'll support.
We have motion support for the discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. I trust that everyone has had a chance to look over the consent agenda. And review that in its entirety. Some of that we did yesterday at our meeting of the whole. Are there any items that any of the trustees would like to pull from that consent agenda to discuss separately?
Well, I guess we should just amend the number there for bills and review of invoices. For what I said in my report,
Okay.
so I would change that to late coming bills that have. So instead of 194,711, we should make it, actually the total now with the additional 325, it's 520,187 and 78 cents. So having said that, unless anyone else has something to bring out, I'm gonna move to approve the consent agenda as just amended.
Support? Yes. We have a motion and support. For the discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried 5-0. We do not have any items under number 7 through 12, so that brings us to item 13, which is new business. The first item under new business is commission appointments, and that is for the Kalamazoo Lake Sewer and Water Authority.
One, another two.
Thank you. One would think I get those cute little flags.
It makes it easier to just put
Well, how do you?
172.
I know, but we don't have. Anyway, Danny, would you like to kick off that discussion while I find my spot?
Absolutely. So I have submitted my letter of resignation to the township board to resign from the position of township representative from the Kalamazoo Lake Sewer and Water Authority. Really enjoyed my time serving on that commission. I think everybody knew it was only a temporary thing. That authority is in such good shape right now. Their new administrator, Bob Miller, is just a fantastic addition. He's already made some new hires. Everybody is smiling over there. They're great at communicating. They were here today for a pre-construction meeting. So I feel very confident turning over the position to Treasurer Helmrich, who's expressed interest in joining the Kalamazoo Lake Harbor Authority, Kalamazoo Lake Sewer and Water Authority.
I was on that.
You are on the harbor. I do think it is important that the board continues to appoint to this authority only elected officials or senior staff people to ensure that there is alignment between the priorities of the township and the Sewer and Water Authority, just because that is such an important authority and has so much influence on everything that we do. So to have that continuity is incredibly important, and that we had Abby and myself and now John is we're doing the right thing.
Mhm.
And it shows. So
I'd like to commend you for the work you did. How many months were you?
I don't know what I wanna remember.
Well, it wasn't a year, but it was less than a year.
No, October.
Abby was best
I
today.
know I dropped a hot potato.
What was the date? Yeah.
I did it it was October when I said I'm done.
Well, thanks for all you did. And I don't know if you've done.
Yes.
Yeah,
You guys were fabulous and it's in such great shape.
and thank you for, it does, it took a team to get through all of it and yeah, I feel like we should bake Bob a cake. But I just like that to be on record.
I'll be at the meeting Monday. I'll bring you cake. For a little,
Thank you, John, for your willingness to step into this.
it's my pleasure.
You are gonna do a fantastic job. You have a soft touch, but say what needs to be said, and I think that'll be a great fit, so. It's not normal, but I would like to make the motion to appoint John Helmrich as the township representative to the Kalamazoo Lake Sewer and Water Authority Commission for a term to expire February 2029.
I'll support.
We have motion and support. Any further discussion?
Wondered, any update about possibly having another seat at the table, or is that what's happening with that?
Well, I don't know, will that come up specifically this Friday?
That was so there's a meeting coming up and
Yeah,
that
the
very,
meeting.
What date is that?
This Friday?
Okay, and,
I tell you.
okay,
Douglas.
great.
Is that Douglas?
Go.
It's the follow-up meeting for the tri-community utility.
Oh, that one, it's not public.
But
Okay, gotcha.
that specifically will be discussed.
Good.
Oh, great, thank you, I think it's
But the
important.
meeting is public.
It's a
The
public,
meeting actually is public, yeah, so it's what
I'll
PM
have
it's at
to-
the city hall.
okay.
It's considered a joint meeting with the authority, therefore, because of the.
Open Meetings Act,
And
quorum,
There's a
Is
quorum,
that this Friday? So-
correct,
yeah,
Okay.
1:00.
Yeah, thank you.
right?
wonderful.
Theirs is Monday at 10.
Theirs is Monday at 10.
All right.
Yeah,
Perfect.
so you don't have double,
That's it's a good way to
Double
get,
header.
good. I've been to one and listened, so we'll see what happens.
You have motion and support. Any other comments? All in favor? Aye. You see that?
Get the
Opposed?
vote?
What? Oh,
Mhm.
I think so.
All right, aye.
Okay.
Maybe I should,
No, that's fine.
It's a good question.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, thank you, John. Water connection ordinance.
Yeah, so for your consideration is ordinance number 2026-03. And that would require connection to public water when the service is available. So currently, we do not require residents to connect to public water when it's available. The state does have a law that requires all property owners to connect to sewer if it's available. And they have to connect within 18 months of the installation of the sewer. This would not have the same requirements. So essentially, if you have public water available and you are not connected to public water, you do not have to connect. The only conditions under which you would have to connect is if you sold the property to somebody else and they would have to connect. If your well failed, you would have to connect as opposed to installing a new well. Or if you had a vacant piece of property and you were constructing a new residence on it, instead of installing a groundwater well, you would have to connect to the public water main. The idea is that our water system is a very expensive piece of infrastructure, and we invest a lot of time and money into not only installing it, but maintaining it, and then ultimately we have the obligation of replacing it. And that cost is not borne by the taxpayers, it's borne only by those who are on public water. And so we want to ensure that people who have access to the public water are connected to it and are contributing to paying for those long-term infrastructure costs. We did, consider the onus we would be putting on someone to force them to connect, which is why we wanted to go with that phase process. So if somebody's well is fine and they're on well and they have public water, nothing has to change. I did talk with Cindy a little bit about the condition of conveyance of property, and would that be onerous to have the new property owner pay for the connection? But we did discuss that at that time, funding would be available, they could roll it into their mortgage, and so it could be a convenient time to make the connection. As opposed to having their well fail and then having them have to pay it out of pocket. There's always the option too that we keep open, that the township can help finance that. We could set up like an individual special assessment district where if somebody didn't have the money right away, they could pay over a period of time. We would set that time, I think it's no more than 10 years. So there's different financing options that would be available to folks, and we've done it before. If somebody had a financial issue, we could do that, but I do think that it's important that we're ensuring that people who can connect do connect and then pay into the system.
Well, I know that we talked about this at length yesterday and we had a lot of questions, but are there any other questions or items for discussion at this time?
To point out that, wells for irrigation are allowed and
Yeah.
pets and all that, there's an article in here for that, so that's good to know.
I'd like to make a motion.
I'll move to adopt ordinance number 2026-03. An ordinance to amend chapter 36, article 3 of the Township Code of Ordinances to add a new section 36 to 58, requiring mandatory connection to available water supplies, and add a new division 7 to address enforcement.
I'll support.
We have a motion by Marcy. Support by Aldrich. Right. Further discussion? No? I'll call the roll. Marcy?
Yes.
Aldrich?
Yes.
Osmond?
Yes.
Bickford? Yes. Hallmark?
Yes.
177.
Oh, that one's easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Safe Street Action Plan.
Yes. So in your packet is this is a draft safe street action plan, so there would be some minor modifications. But this is actually pretty cool of us that we accomplished this, so not many individual townships in the state of Michigan have actually done this. Not a ton of communities in the state of Michigan have completed this. You heard yesterday from Jason Latham that the Macatawa area coordinating the commission. Council did complete one for all of Ottawa County, parts of Northern Allegan County. So it really is communities that either they have like a metropolitan planning organization that can take over an activity like this, or larger cities that have a lot more staff and resources that can do something like this. But we applied for this Safe Streets for All grant to complete this safety action plan, which is here, and we had a really great foundation with our Blue Star Highway corridor safety plan that we could build upon. And now that we have this in place and we've identified areas where in the township and our roads where we're seeing high incidents of personal injury, we really can begin to target those areas and make improvements. And I think, I mean, one of the reasons why we really wanted this grant program is because, or to create this plan is because now we're eligible to apply for the construction track of this grant program. So all the design work and planning that has gone into thinking how we could redesign Blue Star Highway, now we can use all of that material and put it together in a grant application and submit it to this program to see if we can get any implementation funding. So that's what we're doing right now, so I kind of spent a little time talking about that. But it's great that we have this plan and we have something to work with and a direction to work in. But we also have done much more work than that. And we're at the point where we're actually preparing an application to the same program to pay for, construction improvement. And it's very pricey. I mean, we've gotten some initial cost estimates back, so to have the grant funding is really critical to seeing this redesign of Blue Star Highway and kind of meeting the community's expectations and really addressing the known safety issues that we're seeing. So this is a big milestone for us. So, but I do want to point out too that it involves a resolution. So that is committing to Vision Zero by 2050, so zero personal injury by 2050. And that we are formally adopting, and we need to say that in the motion, and formal adoption of the Saugatuck Township Safety Action Plan.
So take out supporting and put and formal adoption.
Correct.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on this? Again, we talked about this quite a bit yesterday, so. No? Okay. Would someone like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution number 2026-09, a resolution of the Saugatuck County Board of Trustees committing to Vision Zero by 2050 and formally adopting its safety action plan.
I'll support.
We have a motion by Osmond. Support by Helmut. Any further discussion? Yeah, call the roll. Osmond,
Yes.
Helmut,
Yes.
Bickford, yes, Marcy.
Yes.
Aldrich. Yes. Motion carries unanimously. Oh, I'm saying the word. Okay. Great, we are moving right on to a very easy, fun bit of business, which is the Pride Month proclamation. This is something we've done for many years now. Thank you. Daniel, would you like to say anything about this?
The only thing is that, yeah, I think I'm super proud of the township board for continuing to support Pride Month. I think it sends a great message to the community. I think it says a lot about us as, elected officials and township staff, and, we have LGBT Q elected officials and staff and family and extended family in the community, and I just think it's a really beautiful thing to reaffirm our support for the community and make that publicly known. So I'm proud of you all for wanting to continue to do this.
2019 was the first year.
How about that?
Wow, it's a long time. And we beat the two cities too. I don't know if they still do it. They were always fighting about it. I just want to add, I think, right now, the current climate in our country, it's more important than ever.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud to be a part of a township that feels that way, so. Here we are. Well, I guess I'll make. a
I think you should make a
motion.
motion.
Yeah, I think you have,
I'm looking at-
2019.
All right. I move to designate June of 2026 as Pride Month in Saugatuck Township.
I will support.
We have a motion and support, further discussion. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, very, very good, okay. Deputy discussion, this was something that Treasurer Helmrich and I had discussed several weeks ago, and he had this wonderful memory to ask for this to be on the agenda for tonight. We discussed it a little bit yesterday, but John, if you'd like to lead this discussion, I very much appreciate it. I understand you've done some research to answer some of the questions that we had yesterday at committee of the whole.
After our meeting yesterday, I dug out a copy, one of our township.
Could you start
association-
at like kind of the beginning of why we started this conversation?
Oh, go back for,
Yeah,
okay. Well, that's,
just for the
well, I
viewers.
did this. In follow-up, Abby and I was talking, I don't know, less than a month ago. Yeah,
Few weeks ago.
issue, but it came to, we realized that several years ago, the supervisor had a deputy. At that time, that person moved away. We've never had one since. We did have had deputy clerks and deputy treasurers, but it just made us start thinking, and we had some questions too. If we were ready to move forward with having a deputy supervisor again, did they have to live in the township? Whatever.
And your deputy does not live in the township, so we wanted to make sure you were
Right,
compliant.
yeah.
Correct.
Previously, before Peter was here full-time, Brenda was my deputy. So anyway, let me read a few passages from the red book, which will clarify everything. So the clerk and the treasurer must each appoint a deputy. The supervisor may appoint a deputy. Deputy must take the oath of office before the appointment happens. And deputy treasurer is required to be bonded. I'm pretty sure Peter's already bonded with me through the county, but I'll double check that.
I can confirm he is bond.
Okay, there we go. So the deputy positions may be paid compensation determined by the township board. Note that a deputy may not vote as a member of the township board. The deputy supervisor cannot chair township board meeting. Township board must appoint someone to run the meeting. If you're not here. Can't be your deputy.
But they can sit at the table, they just can't.
They can't run the meeting.
Right.
Township board does not have a vote over who is appointed for any of these positions. It is solely the treasurer, the clerk, and the supervisor's decision. Let's see. Oh, and this came up, remember this with you, because we're less than 40,000 people, there was a question, could another board member be a deputy to another board member? If you're smaller than 40,000, the answer is yes.
Oh, wow.
So.
I think
and
we knew that, but yeah, just.
we
don't
checked.
rush.
I just remember us figuring that out.
Okay.
So that's it. So,
Right, awesome.
oh, and yeah, we have to make sure, I'll make sure, I think I remember doing it, But we'll have to make sure Peter is officially sworn in as deputy.
Yes.
Got our swear book right there.
I swear about
He's not here.
You
You can do that tomorrow. And deputy clerk already exists.
No deputy trustees, right?
Yep.
Donald.
You could have an unpaid assistant if you want. You can find it. Yes, I think that it's probably high time I consider that. Yeah, so thank you for doing all that work. I very much appreciate it.
So is your plan to maybe tell us who your deputy might be next month or?
I think what I wanna do is either sit down with Daniel or Cindy or anybody, any of you, and kind of discuss like a vision of what. Cause I don't want somebody just to do it in name only, and the person I'm thinking of is somebody that I'd really like to have potentially, start to learn more about the township board, and if there was a vacancy ever, that person would be more familiar. So like, what are the duties? And the one that comes to mind first is if we join the MAC,
Yeah.
right? So maybe it's somebody that has a passion. Maybe it's not the person I'm thinking of. Maybe it's somebody that has a passion for the environment and transportation and, you know, safe streets and pathways and things like that. So I just want to be deliberate about it and talk about like, what duties could this person do? And when you said that in there too, it's like, oh, those positions can be paid too. So maybe there is a little per diem instead. So maybe I'm talking, yeah. So I think I need to think about it a little bit more and get some input from others before I.
Well, there's certainly no rush.
Okay, great.
We've waited this long.
Yeah.
But I think it's an exciting step
Yeah,
for you and for us and.
Mhm.
right. I think it's important to get people on board, and like I said yesterday, learn who they are and what they're about. It's a really nice way to do that before bringing somebody on to a more permanent position,
Sure.
so.
Great.
Again, thank you for keeping that top of mind and doing the legwork on that.
There's no motion, so.
Right, just discussion item only. I will report back. Liquor license local approval request.
Yes, so this is kind of perfunctory. Normally this would be in the consent agenda, but it would have messed up the ordering of my resolutions. I didn't want to redo everything. But Arctic Lodging is applying for a resort liquor license through the Liquor Control Commission. And as part of that application, the Liquor Control Commission asks the local unit of government to sign a resolution either in support of that application or not in support of that application. Typically, we're gonna determine support by whether or not there's any like outstanding enforcement or zoning issues. In this case, there are not. And I believe that when it was brought to planning commission, it was always understood that the facility that they want the license for was going to be some sort of restaurant, community space with most likely adult beverages being served. So this is for you to either provide a recommendation for approval or not approval. But know that there are no outstanding issues that would give staff reservation for not approving it. And in approving it, you don't give them the liquor license, it's just that it's a local box, it's the local government box that the Liquor Control Commission checks.
So the state theoretically could say no.
Yes.
The state theoretically could say no, yeah, or they could say we don't have any licenses this year.
Right, and they make the determination based on their criteria. Okay. Any questions? Well, then let's move this right along.
I'll make a motion,
No.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2026-10. A resolution granting local approval for Sagatuck Lodging LLC's resort liquor license application to the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs Liquor Control Commission.
I'll support.
Motion by Aldridge, support by Mercy. Further discussion? Call the roll. Aldridge,
Yes.
Marcy,
Yes.
Humrick,
Yes.
Osmond,
Yes.
Bigford, yes. all 5 O's today. Okay, that brings us to future topics, which we discussed yesterday. Just note that, what is printed on the agenda is not correct. The fire district budget meeting is at 3:30 p.m., not 4 p.m. on May 18th. It sounds like, Clerk Osmond and both trustee Marcy and Aldrich will be in attendance. I plan on being there, and you will not be, so we will have our voting power.
Yes.
Okay,
And I'd like to know it's open to the public as well, and it's held at the fire station, so.
thank you. I was gonna ask the address how the fire station. Okay. Very good. Anything else on that? Public comments. Oh, what are long? Thank you for being here and being our audience for tonight. We still have Doug Manning joining us on Zoom. Doug, would you like to unmute and speak at this point? Okay, well, thank you for joining us and being part of our meeting tonight. Go ahead and close the public comment section. Board member comments, we'll start. Today, with trustee Marcy.
I don't really have any, but I didn't know quite where to slap this, and this is more for Daniel than anyone. The whole safe streets and filling in the water trenches, and they will be level, correct? So speaking as one who was on a very busy highway and fell into one, and a semi stopped and helped me out of it. But it really is a safety issue. If the path is run right there, it's not that difficult.
No.
I did stop wearing laces. My laces got caught through me there, so, but I don't know if anybody thinks of it. I don't know if it's a grant notation, but just mentioning it.
We're gonna cover the whole.
Sorry.
Yes, let's cover them.
I'm so terribly sorry.
And the other thing is, can we run the path to Lorimar instead of River Bluff?
It's in the master plan.
Yes, I
It's in the
know.
master plan.
I don't think I have anything tonight. Thank you again for serving on the KLSWA with.
Kelly.
Kelly. Okay, there we go.
I don't really have any comments, just if John would stay after the meeting, so I can swear him in. And, then I have the special closed session minutes, I need some signatures on that.
Right, thank you. We're dotting the i's and crossing the t's. I don't think I have anything. Treasurer Homer?
Yeah, well, seeing that Doug Manning is attending our meeting remotely, that jogged my memory because I missed the April meeting. Back on April 16th, Doug joined me and PC Chair Denise Webster. And we had a tour of the latest Habitat for Humanity complex in Holland. I had met him at that Brownfield workshop. I went to in Grand Haven. Him, the guy from Habitat. It was the most amazing setup because it was so attractive. And we were in one of them looking across to the other side. And we all kind of noticed at once, all the roof lines are different. It's not cookie cutter, it's something like this, something like that. All the front doors have different colors.
So there's a village of this?
Yeah, and it's really worth seeing.
Where's it at?
I'll have to check my notes. I
Okay.
think I could drive there. It's you know, on Washington where all those medical buildings are on the left.
Yeah.
It's down one of those streets and all of a sudden there it is.
Is it a whole bunch? How many about?
I bet there's 30 of them.
Really?
It's all clustered and there's a lot of green space.
Who set up that tour?
Hmm?
Who set up the tour?
I did with Dave Rosman as the
Oh,
habitat.
so you headed it up, the
Well,
tour?
because I met him.
Okay.
That's so cool. I never
They
knew
reached
that
out.
whole little village.
Doug's our newest PC member and he wanted to come and meet some of the experience, so
That's awesome. Thank
we can
you.
do more tours.
Yes.
We could do more tours.
And as we discussed, I mean, we'd have to have a really generous landowner, like what Johnny Walker has done in Fenville.
Mhm.
We're not likely to get property for development in our township that could go this route unless someone is donating it or
Got it at a really cheap.
giving it kind of a price. But I think we all agree we'd love to see something one day. But this one is really, and they're all 2-story,
Mhm.
and it was very, very cool, so.
Thanks for.
I could lead another tour.
Yes,
We don't need
I'd love
Dave.
to.
I know where it
I would
is.
love to.
No, we should all go again.
Yeah.
So, Doug, thanks for being here, because I wouldn't have said that without seeing you on the screen.
No, I wish Commissioner Lovers was still on the screen, so I was hoping he would join in, so I could, right when it was top of the mind, thank him for supporting the Allegan County Legal, Center and allowing them to be housed in the courthouse, because that's a huge value to them. Okay. I'm gonna close the board member comments and adjourn tonight's meeting at 7:09. Oh,
So,
thank you.
yeah, I-
Oh, yes. Right.
No. So. I wanted to make this up more formal. The budget information for
The
the
training.
training.
Mhm.